Hello everybody, I'm just going to wait for a moment while people join this feed. Good morning to everybody who's joining either now live or if you're watching this later, then you're welcome to watch it. So this is session 2 of doing circus at home. So I've tried to restrict myself to having a small space, and in fact I'm in the spare bedroom, which has got very little floor room around me. And I'm trying to restrict myself to using stuff that you will hopefully be able to find at home. If you have costumes you want to put on for it, then that's great. If not, then that's also fine. Okay, so yesterday, the first day, we looked at a few things to do with scarves and how to juggle them. And to remind you what we did, we learnt the pattern. If you have 3 objects, they can be scarves or they can be other things. For example, let's do it with sheepy, bunny and panda. Okay, so you have 3 items, and we learnt how we can swap their positions in a nice continuous way. Okay, and this is the basic pattern for juggling. It doesn't matter what objects you're using. Just learning this pattern of moving backwards and forwards is what's important. Okay, so let's put the soft toys down. And I said that the advantage we have if we go for something floaty, like a scarf, a silk scarf or a nylon one, is that you have a lot more time to think about things. So for instance, if we have a juggling ball here and a scarf here, if we drop them, not surprisingly, the juggling ball hits the ground first. Or in my case, it hits the bed, because, as we learned yesterday, if we're over something like a bed or a table, then when we're practicing juggling, it's so much easier to pick fallen objects off without having to crouch down on the floor. So we got as far as being able to have a go at getting the juggling going like that. So it'll be interesting to know how you've got on, so please do put comments in. So today's we're going to have a look at what other things you can do with objects, and lots of you will be watching with other people, and it will be and you can have a lot of fun when you're getting used to throwing objects with other people. So for example, here we have Mr. Buddy and Mr. Sheep. And what they can do is they can take up an object and they have a go at passing to each other. Well, that's quite hard, isn't it? You can catch it on your head if you want, which is quite fun, or you can try catching in your hands. It's a bit tricky with puppets. So it's the same we were doing before, where you throw the object up and catch it with one hand. Instead, you pass it to somebody else and catch it. And you can then try and work on doing things like, for example, putting some claps in before you have to catch it. That's quite fun. You can even go for a clap under your leg before catching it. Or you can even go for throwing it Ooh, might call to my nail then. Let's try that again. Throw it in the air, turn around and catch. Do it again, turn around and catch. You don't have to spin particularly fast if the object's going really slowly. If you got as we were doing it earlier, like yesterday with a tea towel, then life is a bit harder because it falls much quicker. So we really do have to turn around much quicker if you want to be able to catch it. And then it gets a little harder fitting claps in if you're using that. But have a go. If there's 2 or 3 of you watching this, have a go at passing the objects backwards and forwards, and this is something you can carry on doing after this video. So let's see what we're doing now. Okay, we're going to have a little warm-up, which we didn't actually do yesterday, but I said we'll do. So I'm going to put some music back on, and this is a really good warm-up for your hands and arms. Okay, so let's find some suitable music. I wrote all this music, so I've got the copyright, so it doesn't matter that I'm putting this into a live broadcast. So let's go. Get movements in time with the music. Let's try and do stars like that. And let's go around the circle and the other way. And let's swish our arms around. We're trying to get lots of nice movement in our wrists. The other way. You can still march up and down if you want to while you're doing this. Doesn't really matter. And now let's crunch and up. This is quite good if on a cold day your hands are cold and you want to warm them up, you get circulation going. Just doing this helps, okay? And swish around again. And then you just do interesting shapes. Any time in the day when you're bored, you can always put on music, jig around, especially if you're feeling cold, if you're sitting around a lot, then it's great to just get up and dance. Good. Okay, so that has warmed up our shoulder areas, our arms and our hands. So it then makes it easier when you're doing the tricks to actually do them because your muscles are warm. So another thing you can do with, I've shown you with the scarves, if you have a ball you can do similar catches with each other. So in fact, let's see if Mr. Bunny and Mr. Sheep can cope with passing. Okay, so here we go. Oh yes, that's a bit easier than with the scarves. Their short arms made it hard to catch the scarves. So again, if there's 2 or more of you, you can pass an object, a scarf, a beanbag around the circle, and it'll be fun. Good. So that is the end of today's session. It was just a refresher of what we did yesterday, and giving you some ideas of what more you can do with the scarves. But just to finish off, I remind you, practicing regularly for learning to juggle is better than trying to do one big long session. So as we go through this week, then we should find that you're improving various things. And tomorrow, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing tomorrow. I'll see. I think I'm spending the day with my wife, so I may have to pre-record tomorrow's session. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till Thursday. See how today goes with my busyness. Okay, so keep well in all you're doing. Enjoy throwing objects around. Always be careful when you are throwing objects, especially if they're heavier objects such as tennis balls or bean bags or juggling balls, that you're not going to break anything nearby. And if you get tired, have a rest. Okay, bye.